Hello again. So today we are actually going to talk about something that just debuted. So this came out about 43 minutes ago. It's an article published on a new tech software. So, well, not software, it's kind of like a device. If you've heard about the Humane pen, it was kind of like an AI in your hand, but this one is actually a bit better. It's called the Rabbit R1 AI Companion. And right now I'm just gonna go through Gizmodo's article since it debuted so early to tell you about it. So it's launching quite soon. They actually just debuted the gadget itself. It looks like a rabbit. Well, it has a rabbit logo and it's kind of like a square. And so it has a I'll just go through the article for you. Here, the pickup party, as the company called it, was exclusively for the first few hundred buyers, and now we're seeing some early hands-on impressions. Scouring all the stories on the device, it looks like everyone had more or less similar thoughts on it. We've rounded out some of the most common praise and complaints from around the web into one place to help you figure out if the R1 is right for you. So let's go through some more ads. Okay, oh, it's a lot of ads. Okay, so here, so people are comparing it to the Humane pen, which they don't like. But of course, you know, you're releasing something that's in the same field, so people are going to compare it to that. Apparently, it's a bit cheaper. So the Humane pen was about $700. This one's going to be about $200. And it makes sense as it's a new concept that it's this price. I think they're going to get quite a bit of attention since it's much cheaper. They could just go for this. So apparently the Humane pen was too futuristic for its own good, according to them. The whole laser project projection feature that they tried on the device didn't really succeed. David Pierce from The Verge reports, I much prefer the R1's interface to the Humane AI pen because it's there's a screen and you can see the thing working, so the AI delays don't feel quite so interminable. Okay, weird words being used. No subscription fee on the R1, which is good, as opposed to the monthly fee on the AI pen is another major reason why the former is more attractive at the moment. And Rabbit CEO Jesse Liu made sure to reiterate this multiple times at the pickup party with constant shade thrown at its rival AI device. Apart from the excessively innovative approach, Humane tried to take and fail. It's just constant comparisons. I really just want to see what it does. So okay, so the R1 is a work in progress, and the CEO is quite transparent about this, according to Engadget. Liu made many promises to the audience, seeming to acknowledge that the R1 might not be fully featured when it arrives in their hands. Even on the company's websites, there is a list of features that are planned in the works or being explored. This explains why most people who got their hands on it weren't blown away by its current functionality. It said that they feel very ChatGPT at the moment, except it can go ahead and actually execute commands for you, like call you an Uber or order food on DoorDash. Your phone is perfectly capable of doing all that. The on-device camera or the rabbit eye lets you point it to any object, which will then tell you about. It's very Google Lens. Hell, even my iPhone can perform this functionality too, reports a reporter. But according to Android Authority, Rabbit software is still in the early days. The overall R1 experience is pretty bare bones right out the box, offering a total of 9 functions ready to go from day one, each of which is almost identical to what your smartphone can already do, and a little bit more of a headache to set up. If anything at first, you might be even feel limited by the 9 services you can use on it until you teach it macros and train it on the services of your choice. Android Authority adds, currently the R1 supports music playback, ride sharing, and food delivery through Spotify, Uber, and DoorDash. However, it only supports those apps. You can't choose Lyft, Tidal, or even the Uber Eats instead. Okay. Why couldn't this just be an app? Whenever a company offers something out of the box, consumers love asking why it couldn't just have been an app. Currently, folks who have been spending time with the device are unable to answer the question. Android Authority says, I struggle to find a good answer when someone asks me why this isn't just an app. Honestly, I've yet to find a situation where I'd truly rather fish this phone-like gadget out of my pocket to complete one of its relatively limited functions when I already have my phone that has far more features at my disposal. Essentially, what this is a first iteration of like AI in a device that they're trying to roll out. But it's kind of like a tiny phone that just has AI in it. And it's not, right now obviously it's terrible, but as you can see, they're making plans to go ahead. The first iterations are usually terrible. It's not perfect by any means, but that's okay because they are getting better. I mean, the Humane print, AI print came out of nowhere for $700. And it's got funding from a large group of people to debut. It has customers, it got a large amount of people talking about it. This one is the second iteration and it's a lot better and a lot cheaper already. It's already like they cut the cost from $700 to $200 for the exact same thing, but with better interface. So I mean, obviously things are escalating quite a bit. But let's go through some other stuff that actually came out. This came out about 4 hours ago. Actually, here's one that came out 3 hours ago. So AI demands fuel. No, let's not go with that one. It's quite weird. A lot of these stories are actually just nonsense and like celebrity gossip, like the whole Drake thing. While that's going on, you have like political discourse all across America. I mean, with that movie Civil War, it's just showing you like events that are just going to happen quite soon. Which, if you're not into prepping, you should be. You should be prepping quite a bit, just in case something happens, depending on where you are. Just going through it, there's so much news going on all the time. 26 minutes ago, White House touts AI controls put in place over 180 days since Biden executive order. 29 minutes ago, AI in our future. 59 minutes ago, generative AI arrives in the gene editing world of CRISPR. So they're allowing this thing to essentially have access to genetic editing, which is what they're saying. Now, obviously, they're going to tell you, hey, we're just using it for our work. We have all these safety and parameters in place. What they don't tell you is things like the CDC and places where they are supposed to have a very high standard of just, oh, for God's sake. So you click on the news and then there's an ad. You close that ad. Second window screen, 99 cents for a week, dollar for 5 weeks. So they have a paywall to read this article that just came out. God, okay. But it's fine. Back to the original train of thought. With the CDC, they are supposed to have like really high parameters to prevent disease and outbreaks. And when they're testing different diseases that are like flesh-eating diseases, different things like smallpox, they're supposed to have a procedure that like protects anyone in their surroundings. So obviously you have decontamination procedures, sanitation procedures, and then different things that they have to follow. Turns out when they did an inspection of quite a few different facilities, it was in quite a few chaos. There was just doors open, people had lunches next to flesh-eating bacteria, there was broken equipment that was supposed to ventilate the area so that it couldn't be contaminated. They found that one of the ventilators where it was supposed to suck air in was sucking air out, so it was pushing all the contaminated material out into the wilderness. Recently there was a case, a few years ago, there was a case of a woman contracting flesh-eating bacteria because she went hiking, she slipped and fell on one of the rivers, and she had a really bad strain. They just didn't know where it was from. Turns out just up that river was a CDC building that was doing tests on different bacteria, one of them being flesh-eating disease. And that's just biological matter that people are messing around with. Imagine this, that you're giving access to all of this stuff. But anyway, since that news article wasn't free, we can just go on to the next one. Here, Elon Musk says any company that isn't spending $10 billion on AI this year, like Tesla, won't be able to compete. So what does that mean? That means he's spending so much money on its advancement, they just won't be able to compete with how good the tech is. It's truly crazy what they're doing. So here, Elon Musk had a message for America's business leaders: either prepare yourself for the AI revolution or start writing your corporate obituary. At a juncture in time when Tesla's CEO is cutting back on investments into new vehicle capacity, he is spending $10 billion this year alone to bulk up on AI training and inference and position Tesla at the forefront of the industry for real-life applications outside of generative AI. So any company not spending at this level and doing so efficiently cannot compete, is what he posted on Sunday. So spending on AI inference would primarily be targeted at his range of cars, a possible indication that he's preparing the ground for the next generation of his custom-designed full self-driving computer known as HWS. Okay? The distinction between training and inference is important since close observers will know Musk is currently working on another major AI project, his humanoid robot dubbed Optimus. So after the 1980s cartoon vehicle that transformed into a sentient robot, Optimus Prime, of course. This bold and risky pivot toward AI, and by implication away from his previous focus on a tenfold increase in car sales to 20 million EVs annually, definitively answers the perennial question whether Tesla is an automaker or a tech company in favor of the latter. Any typical auto executive would have long since invested in rejuvenating one of the oldest product ranges in the auto industry. For example, Tesla's EV, so electrical vehicle arch rival, BYD, is pumping out one new model after the other across its portfolio of brands, with the help of its small army of 90,000 vehicle engineers. Okay, so okay, this showed a tweet of the exact same thing that he said. They will be spending $10 billion on it, which is a large amount in a single year just to increase the AI capability. Musk, however, seems to view his cars more as an iPhone on wheels, a premium device for delivering high-margin software that can be sold at lower profit since revenue will be recouped by offering services around the vehicle. So you have a subscription fee on top of that for all other stuff. Okay, for the moment that approach has not worked, that approach has not worked, Tesla has found itself forced to repeatedly cut prices to stimulate enough demand to keep his factories humming. Musk even recently resorted to slashing the price of his SSD software by a third. Okay, so he's putting all of his cards as much as he can into AI. Yeah, it's just talks about his past. It's not. Let's go to the real thing. Okay, so here, emboldened by the success, Musk has quickly snatched up every AI chip he can find. In the first quarter alone, Tesla spent $1 billion, more than doubling its compute capacity to the equivalent of 35,000 NVIDIA H200 chips, the benchmark for AI processing. Last week, Musk promised this figure would hit 85,000 by the end of the year. Musk hopes none of his direct competitors will take him up on his advice, and Tesla will be able to be the first to solve unsupervised self-driving at scale and beat out Waymo to the lucrative business of licensing out his autonomous technology to rivals. A key step in the direction is proving V12 is just as capable abroad as it is in the United States, where its software was trained. So on Monday, he managed to clinch a deal that could see FSD finally gain approval in China. To placate demand from Beijing, Musk partnered with local internet search giant Baidu, itself a major contender in self-driving cars, to license the latter's mapping and navigation software. So Musk winning FSD approval in the key China market is a watershed moment for the Tesla story in our view. Okay, so yeah, obviously they're doubling down on AI. Even more so, I mean, they're really going after this stuff. Like you can see, he is buying a shit ton of AI chips. They're doing everything they can just to increase their computing software. Now, obviously, this doesn't just update saying that, okay, this is what he said about his computers and his computing software for his self-driving cars. But this has an implication into every sector that he has or that he's in. So all of his different companies, SpaceX, all the other stuff, everything is going to rely on that. So obviously it makes sense for him to double down onto getting as much computing software as he can, because everything is going to run on it, everything's going to need. And obviously if this company, let's say, has a ton of chips and it makes their computing power is so great that it does grant him success, he can just copy and paste in other places where obviously he has different companies, so he can just paste it there, put his computing software there to do whatever he wants. Now that just makes sense that he's getting like this, spending that much on just the infrastructure alone to like equip AI, because it's going to be helping him in every single sector. But of course, that just you can see the timeline. He said this year he's already spent $1 billion, so like 9 billion to go on everything else. So to be fair with you, they're doubling down on AI. There's no slowing down. They're really putting a ton of money behind all of this stuff. Wow, okay. So here, 5 hours ago, Indeed and LinkedIn are incorporating more generative AI to improve the recruiting and job hunting processes. Some recruiters are still unconvinced. Okay, so, you know, you're not even having like a real human being that's going to see your CV. That's probably going to be like helped by AI. Like you use the AI to help you write the CV, and then some kind of AI is going to read that script that's written to see if you're good for the job. That's if you get that job, because obviously everyone's holding out so that because if you notice, there's less people being employed. But they're still the same, like they're still like gaining traction. More and more people will need employment. So what are they doing? Well, they're waiting for AI to like just hit the next level. So they're allowed to, like they're forced by law to put out this vacancy, right? But they're not forced by law to hire anyone. So that's why you see there's continuous vacancies just being put out there. But people who are applying to them don't get that job, because obviously they're using AI, one, to like enhance the recruiting process, but they're using AI in every other sector. And so what they're doing is they're trying to wait until that AI can just take over whatever job is in place, and then, you know, they'll be like, sorry, this vacancy is probably filled or whatever, or we no longer need this department itself. It's the same thing that's happening to marketing. They're calling it marketing 2.0, one that's run entirely by AI. So yeah, that's just what's happening right now. That's just what's happening in the last like 3 hours, 4 hours. That's what's debuted. So obviously things are escalating quite quickly. So yeah, what I'll do is just go over some more stuff for you guys later on. Let me know if you want to cover any specific topics, and I'll just go ahead and research it and then present to you guys. All right, hopefully it's free though. But yeah, as you can see, like even journalists and stuff, they're getting as greedy as they can. This site asks for like money up front right now, and then money for a subscription for every week. That's what they're charging, weekly subscription service, not monthly anymore. This one wants to charge like per week, which is quite crazy for just an article. I just wanted to read one thing. So yeah, I think everyone's with the AI coming along, someone stands to make a shit ton of money from it, and it's probably, you know, people at the head of the companies and shareholders and stuff like that. But yeah, all the best guys, take care of yourself.